everyone, it's GT time, and I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us, as always, is our uniquely talented and knowledgeable panel, including Brandon Jones.
Yes, that's me. Hello. Somebody wanted me on Twitter to not just say, like, hi, yeah. They were like, no, not with that voice. It's like, okay. Yes, Brandon's here.
What you came up with was, yes, that's me, hello.
Correct. Well, it's got to be a response to what you're saying. You know?
No, it should be like hot cha cha, you know?
No,
it
it should be like hot cha cha.
It could be anything. Watch, Daniel Bloodworth.
Wait, you just said it can be anything, but you said I can't say the other thing.
I'm sorry, it could be anything nonsensical. Like you just said, yes, that's me, hello.
Wow.
You know what, Brandon, I gotta say, I want a new one. Brandon Jones.
What's going on, everybody?
Nice. Daniel Bloodworth.
I have returned from my travels.
In the super seat this week, Brad Ellis.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
And making this all happen, Ian Hink.
Hi.
Oh, that's perfect.
Hello, it's me. Hello.
The cam's a little off. You're a little low
Yeah,
in frame. I was going to say something during GT
It
Live,
moved
but
over.
I should
I'll fix it.
get a chance.
We got a good shot of that wall, though.
Get that little tilt.
You know what I like
nice
about
wood wall.
Ian's catchphrase? It's just the word hi, but the way he says it is unique. It
Hi.
belongs to him.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, it's
It's
up a little bit.
Not quite, but a little similar to the Kirby High.
Hi. So
Hi.
It's me.
God.
it's me, Kirby. As everyone knows him, we're off the rails already. Brad, we have a new Super Seat question. We've gone through our full rotation. You were the first of our next rotation. Here's a question for the Super Seat. What is your favorite E3 memory?
Okay, so as people know in this office, I'm a big JRPG fan. 2013 Sony press conference. Tetsuya Nomura comes out.
Yeah.
I'm expecting some BS from Square Enix like usual.
Yes.
Final Fantasy versus renamed as Final Fantasy 15. Show the footage. Looks awesome.
Yeah.
Platforming everywhere like Uncharted.
Yeah.
I'm already like standing up, clapping.
Yeah.
Then he comes back and goes, wait, I got one more thing for you. Kingdom Hearts starts to come up. I'm
Yeah.
like, don't do this to me. This is going to be another spin-off BS, some phone
Yeah.
game, something like that. Then they show Sora, and it just says Kingdom Hearts 3. And I jumped out of my seat, screamed. I couldn't believe it was real life.
Where are you at this point?
Like, about Kingdom Hearts 3?
No. When you're watching this.
Oh,
what
in my
super-
room, just freaking out.
Are you like watching on a laptop or
No,
like
my
a
computer.
TV? Oh, your computer.
Just
Awesome.
like stood up.
And
like-
shouted?
I was like, no, this isn't real.
So you're silent. You stood up in silence.
Like, yeah, I didn't want to get too excited because I'm used to being disappointed by
Absolutely.
them all the
of course.
time.
Yeah.
But then they did it. It was real, and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And 2 years later,
Yeah, still not out.
I think that press conference, Sony 2013.
You're streaming it tomorrow. The game's out.
Yeah.
It's a decent game.
Oh, 15. No, he's talking about Kingdom Hearts 3. That's the
Oh,
point
right.
that he
Kingdom Hearts
really
3, right.
Yeah.
reached E3 elation.
Yeah, that was the real deal.
Yeah. That is the real deal. I honestly, I think that press conference is like one of the top 5 of all press conferences.
Yeah, that was a pretty memorable. That was the year after they did the price announcement, right?
No,
that was
the
the
same
one.
year.
That was 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
That was Sony's best press conference ever, probably.
Yeah.
Certainly better than any press conference they had in the PS3 era. Yeah, those were all bad.
Just announcing that price, just Jack Tretton laughing, just having the best time of his life up there. That was
That's
good.
that's probably why he left. You know, he was like, I went to the moon. I saw I had the best press conference I've ever had.
Oh, yeah, didn't Keeley have
done.
him, like, drop the mic on
yeah.
those things?
Same E3. Good E3, man. That question for the Super Seat, by the way, is actually like a frequent one for you, the one who started that conversation. So thanks to everyone who suggested that.
So are we going to continue that after E3?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Who's
maybe
in the super seat for our special Thursday E3
it is
episode?
most likely Elise Willems.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Who will also be co-hosting during our E3 coverage?
Absolutely. We'll get to that, Brandon. But for now,
Wait,
we should
we're shooting
get
that on
to
Thursday?
Plug in.
corrections. Please
Friday.
begin corrections music. Ian, we'll get to. Why would you
Wait,
need? What do you need
She's
that
hosting
now
on
for?
Thursday?
No, she probably won't be because she'll be at the
Because
show.
all of us are gone on Thursday.
Why do you think this is an important thing for this podcast right now?
Because it's going to be wrong on your podcast.
All I said was probably. I even used the word probably, so I had an out. I'm a
well,
good
you're
host of a
wrong.
good
I'm
show.
doing a correction
Oh my
in
gosh.
real time.
Oh, jeez.
boy.
I'm still going to say probably. Anyway, let's look at our corrections. Oh, let me clarify leveling up in Chibi Robo. I said last week you had to have the amiibo to level up. I was correct, but people were like, you're wrong. Here's what it really means. You can level up the amiibo in Chibi Robo. You can't level up otherwise. But like leveling up that robot doesn't like make it more powerful. It just unlocks more silly things in the game. like throwaway things, like little trophies. But there's no leveling up mechanic unless you use that amiibo. Also, the amiibo is like gold and super powered, again, making the game easier if you own the amiibo.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really care for that in Kirby. It's like, hey, okay.
Did you try it?
I didn't because it's like, well, I don't need that. It's
Yeah.
easy mode. Yeah.
Yoshi as well is easy mode if you have the amiibo. And it already has mellow mode. Okay, moving forward, that is not a pirate ship in the Fallout 4 trailer. That is Old Ironsides, the USS Constitution.
Nice.
I got in like a little weird rabbit hole on Wikipedia. That thing is still in the water, and George Washington was a captain of that boat. How crazy is that?
There's some cool boats. There's in Boston. There's a at this museum that's right by Faneuil Hall. There is the front of a ship that has a really cool story that's been on like 4 or 5 ships and all of them sunk. And they were just like, oh, we found this thing. Let's put it on another ship, and then that ship would sink.
Oh,
And,
cool.
it's like the bust of a woman on the front of the ship. Cool.
So she's cursed?
If you believe that kind of thing.
I do.
Spooky.
There are tons of RPGs that have icons that indicate which dialogue option is happy and which one is mad. There are too many to mention. XCOM 2, we talked about why is PC exclusive. The day afterward, IGN published an article that said, like, why XCOM 2 is a PC exclusive. And so we have it straight from the developers. You know what? We're already running too long for me to read the direct quotes. But basically, it's like they're not a huge team. It's running on Unreal 3.5, which is apparently they say unrecognizable. It's very complicated. They said it would be easiest for them just to focus on PC, and that's why that is on PC. And corrections music.
That sucks.
What? I'm sorry. What?
That sucks. I want XCOM on PS4.
What that means is it will probably come to PS4 once it's out, once it exists, and then they
Yeah,
have
that's likely.
money to fund the
Also,
rest of
why
it.
are they using like such an old Unreal Engine?
I'm assuming it's just easier to have what they have already built with the original XCOM,
Yeah,
Enemy
I
Unknown,
guess.
and then so it's just cheaper to move.
I mean, is
forward with
XCOM a game that really has to be bleeding edge within the graphics department?
No, but Unreal 4 is free except for the percentage of the back end, and it seems like it's more streamlined.
It's probably just time. Like, I think sometimes
Yeah.
like there are some games that literally only exist because people look at what they did. It's like Borderlands pre-sequel, where they were like, yeah, we can do another game. Let's do it. You know,
Like, why
like
not crap out
it's not
Yeah.
like
crap?
okay, this was really gonna take a long time to get this thing off the ground. It's like, can you do that in a little over a year? Like, yeah, let's hustle. Let's get another game out. Doesn't mean they don't love
Totally.
it. It doesn't mean that Gearbox doesn't dearly love the Borderlands series, but
Right.
that was less work.
Yeah, well,
You
I
know?
mean, that's essentially, we're probably going over long, and we might as well read the code, but yeah, essentially what they're saying is like they'd rather focus on making the game better than making the game work, So it's like we already have something that works, let's make it better.
Yeah.
See, we're not reading quotes, Blood. We're making quotes.
That was a great quote, Blood. You should hand that to them. Let's talk about, how I love to start a show. I love game announcements. And we have one this week. We have Mega Man Legacy Collection was announced this week. This is Mega Man games 1 through 6 remastered. And normally you would say, that's already happened, Kyle, and it had way more games in it.
Yeah,
why
actually,
would
I
you
have that.
Yeah. What was it? It was just called Mega Man Collection, I think?
Yeah, I have a GameCube version,
Yeah, exactly.
which was a bit controversial with button placements or something like that. if
It was
I
because of
remember.
A and B, I
Yeah.
think. A and B are weird. So this is actually very interesting, I think, because it's not done by Capcom. It's done by a company named Digital Eclipse. And this company is more focused on game preservation, restoration. And basically, in their own press release related to the Criterion Collection, they want the colors to match the intent of the developers. So they're like even tuning the colors of this game. Basically, it's going to be the most perfect versions of these games to ever exist. And I just think that's very cool. Where do you stand on this?
I think it's interesting. Because number one, we kind of in many ways already have these on Virtual Console. But I have seen people that, as you're saying, it's like, well, these were designed for SD sets and they're like, different properties to them than you get on an LCD or something. And so I've heard of people like running a Virtual Console or an emulator through like a bunch of After Effects filters. So that they get a look that's more similar to an old SD CRT.
That's funny.
So I think this, that may be somewhat similar to what they're going for in this, just like get it just right. Because I know like when we look at like footage of Super Mario Brothers that we've captured, it always feels like it looks dimmer than it should. And like I never understand that. So that might be part of the reason.
Yeah, and I guess what I'm so pumped about is we've talked about game restoration and preservation for a long time. You know, like, oh, how are these games gonna last time? And we never really considered this option of just like collecting them and like selling it. You know what I mean? Like, it belongs in a museum, but let's also sell it. And so I think this is cool.
Because you want it to be a product, you want this to show up on.
Yeah.
I want to boot up my Wii U or my PS4 or something and see it on the PlayStation Store, like like see it available, and like have kids playing Mega Man that never played it before. So then when you go around with your preservation efforts, it's not like Who Man. It's like no, it's that game that came out. You played those, and they're good games. That's a good collection. I really like the idea of just tweaking colors because like I actually saw a video a couple months ago on YouTube that was like basically just crapping on the color in like almost every release of the Star Wars trilogy, like the original trilogy. And I like never noticed that before. I was like, what? Really? The colors are off? What are you talking about? And then started getting like, oh my God. Like even just the first scene where Leia's talking to Vader in that hallway. It's like, like there are people that have taken that film on YouTube and done their own color restoration, and like it's like, oh my, of course that's how that movie should look. So it's cool not doing like.
No, what changes? Be specific here, because I can't imagine this
like,
right now.
I guess there's blue. Like they just got super blue heavy with like the last like. There's some release that they keep releasing.
The
in different
Blu-ray
formats.
release, like if I buy it on Blu-ray right now, I get a weird blue version of the movie.
There's just some like weird color filter on it. It was either blue or pink or something. There was like something that's just like on that movie, like during a lot of scenes, and they they take it out. And it's cool, like in a preservation kind of way, doing that with games. It'd be really interesting for somebody to like, to bring Ian back in the conversation, but like Symphony of the Night. Imagine if they literally just focused on color. It's like, we're not going to touch anything else. It's going to control the same items. We're not adding anything. It's just, we're just going to make sure,
It's got great color.
with the new systems, where obviously the frame rate never buckles. It's
Yeah.
just like, just run the exact same game, but now, I have no problem buying it. Especially if there's one console that I love, I'm way into my PS4, so just like, oh man, if I had all these classic Sony games that were just like slightly a little bit better color.
If they put trophies in any games like that, I'll buy it immediately.
Oh, good call.
Immediately.
Trophies, I think, is weird to me for a game like this.
For you.
Yeah, so Brad, are you gonna platinum this?
clear.
Are you gonna platinum
Try
the
to,
Mega
yeah.
Man collection?
Try to.
Why, are you good at Mega Man games?
I love Mega Man.
Oh, cool.
What about Mega Man Legacy Collection?
Are you
all
in?
6 full playthrough Friday?
All 6? I'd have to practice again. I haven't played some of those since I was really
I
little.
think you can get through Mega Man 2 pretty quickly, but I don't remember how
Any
fast.
one of those make it good.
What I think is awesome is like there's a mode of this where you can just like go and fight a boss one-on-one, like a training mode basically. It's just there's so many like cool things they're throwing in this, like a database of art and concept art and promotional art that's all like super high res.
It'd be super rad if they did, and something that I really like the Halo collection as much as so many things went wrong with that game. I really like the idea of like doing a playlist. I remember one was called like Big Escapes, and it's like, oh, those are my favorite Halo levels. Like that'd be really fun to just like Halo 1 through 4, play all of those levels in like one playlist. It'd be neat if you left the screen at the bottom of the screen, you'd pop up at the bottom of just some totally random screen.
Oh, of
At
like
some
Mega
level.
Man 5 all of a sudden?
It's
Sure.
just like of any of the games. So you just literally like you're going through this endless remix of like all these crazy levels.
Yeah.
Well,
Again,
that's
something
sort of
that's-
what was that one of the like was it Mega Man 9 or Mega Man 10 that had that?
9 had something kind of like
Yeah,
that.
that like
the endless mode.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, that Damiani did
Poor
the pop.
Oh
Damiani.
yeah, that was one of the most
Absolutely.
brutal Pulp Fictions ever. When Damiani tells you he doesn't know how he's going to do something, it's like, uh-oh.
Hey, Bossman, real quick.
Sure, what's up?
Is that your yellow behind the logo, or is that their yellow?
That is my yellow.
Okay.
It looks better in real life. I
You like that
promise
yellow?
I'm looking at it in real life. It's just weird because it's a different value than the red and the blue. So I'm like, if they're focusing on the color,
Okay, so apparently I've misrepresented the logo.
It's the benefit of listening to the show instead of watching
I
it.
picked the wrong yellow. Yeah, people listening are like, I don't
It's
care.
fine. It's a fine yellow. I just was wondering.
Okay, yeah, that is not their yellow. They would have picked a better yellow that was more appealing to Ian. We should move on. Let's talk about not an announcement, but a practical announcement. Something that was so heavily leaked that is obviously coming. Dark Souls 3.
Woo!
We got a woo from Ian. No word from. We got a sigh.
A little cautious.
What are you cautious about, Brad?
Just too soon. I'm just a little worried.
What do you mean too soon? It's been 2 years.
It's clear they're gonna do every other kind of a
Yeah, I know. I'm just worried about oversaturation.
Miyazaki's at the helm.
I know Miyazaki's. I trust in Miyazaki with my life.
Well, we should talk about that because
Well, that's a rumor, right?
That's not
Rumor.
confirmed. That's a definite.
yeah.
I'm actually
Nothing
a little
is confirmed.
surprised by
Right.
that.
Yeah.
If he's at the helm, that's surprising.
That is surprising. Because wait, he's president of From?
But he's
Yes.
very hands-on president.
Very
Like, he
hands-on
makes that
president.
He
very
directed
clear.
I
Bloodborne.
honestly wonder how much of presidenting he actually does.
Yeah.
like,
an
I think he has that title and
afterthought.
someone else actually runs the business.
Maybe. I
Sounds
mean,
like a dream.
He's turning it. Yeah, he's making them profitable. He's making them money. But Brad, I did actually want to ask those questions. Like, are you worried about this? But I didn't want to be the d-bag who's like, are you worried, Brad? What makes you worried about like fatigue? Why would what could make Dark Souls run dry?
I just think like this may be the wrong way to think about it, but I just think of Assassin's Creed in my mind.
Sure.
How it's just like kind of just like mediocre now, or it has been for me for a little
It kind of
bit.
started mediocre.
Like 1 was okay. I really like 2. 3 I hate.
Brotherhood is killer. Brotherhood's my
Brotherhood's
favorite.
I've
Brotherhood's
heard
good.
that's
Oh
the
my
best
God!
one.
I'm sorry. We're talking. I thought you were saying Dark Souls started off mediocre, and I didn't know where we're
Jesus.
going.
No.
Because that's a huge difference, though, Brad. Is like these games are way different from Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. I mean,
These started good. Assassin's Creed had a bit of a rocky beginning.
Sure. I think that's fair to
I mean,
say. Yeah.
everything they've said about it sounds really good to me. But I'm just
What
cautious.
specifically? So the most rumors came from the No, which is Funhouse, which is Rooster Teeth. That's their like news show, and they leaked so many screenshots, so much concept art, and so much data. I think it's all from marketing. It sounds like it's all marketing materials that leaked, and they got a huge collection of them. But from that, Brad, what did you like? What sounds like? Oh, this is going to be different and good.
It sounded like you can sacrifice like bodies to make bonfires.
And what do you mean sacrifice bodies?
So I'm not we're not exactly how sure
Like the
how it
ragdolls
works.
that are sitting around the
Yeah,
ground.
like maybe you'll be able to make your own bonfires where you want to.
Oh, out of a dead enemy?
Yeah, which sounds cool
Whoa,
to me.
okay.
Different forms of the same boss. They showed a picture of like you fighting or a character fighting like a knight.
Mm-hmm.
They showed like a different version of that fight where he's fighting like looked like a giant like demon otter.
Yeah, the Demon Otter, of course, which
So,
looks awesome.
Yeah, those are like really cool ideas.
But like, I think the difference was depending on how many like PvP people you've killed is how
Okay.
that works out, right?
I don't know how it works.
Okay,
exactly.
obviously, yeah. We're just talking about weird rumors that leak through
Demon
marketing
otter,
material.
like the aquatic animal that like
Yes.
cracks things
Yeah.
on their
Dude, like
chest.
a little
Yeah.
otter just like up there.
River
Yeah.
otters are very cute, but they're very mean in real life. You don't want to mess with them.
What happened, Ian?
I've just studied otters at one point in my life.
He's an otterologist.
I met some otters when I was looking for buttons.
It's true. And bears.
Oh my god.
Too much context. Early 2016 is what IGN leaked. so,
yeah,
Wait,
this is pretty
early?
great.
so what's that?
Early 2016.
It's right there on the image.
I bet it'll get delayed.
Probably March. I'm assuming March. So yeah, the No had this huge leak, kind of unconventional news source. IGN's like, we have leak too. They leaked this one image. They leaked this one thing that says, Dark Souls early 2016. And then Game Informer leaked, oh yeah, we got that leak too. And also this other image that says Dark Souls 3. It was just very funny to watch them all like, wait, we have a leak too. We're in this too. We're cool too. But early 2016. Are you all surprised by that, or does that make sense?
I
Makes
mean,
sense.
it makes sense financially for them. But
Bandai Namco, you mean?
yeah.
Or from?
Oh yeah, Bandai Namco is going to take full advantage of Dark Souls the most they can, but that's really fast because they just made all the DLC that came out a year ago, probably like 3. And they're going to have a game already made.
You're right. And Dark Souls 2 just came out on PS4 and Xbox One recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But From Software makes games very fast. They're hauling at games. When Miyazaki is your president,
You're
games,
hauling.
yeah, games
I like
get
that
done
verb.
fast.
Yeah.
And plus, I wonder if they, I don't really know, but maybe upping the Dark Souls 2 to current gen systems, maybe that sped it up somehow too. Like they upped the engine and graphics already, so they could just use that. I don't know.
Man, that's what. I'm sorry to get started on this again. That's what Anuma said about Zelda when he was doing the Wind Waker HD. He's like, this will definitely speed along process of Zelda for Wii U.
Oh, just kidding.
It's that same thing. Ooh.
Maybe not then. Yeah.
Okay. But no, I'm sure it's a completely different company, completely different situation. Dark Souls 3 has to come out because Bandai Namco says, yeah, come on, make this happen. Whereas Nintendo will be like, oh, okay, yeah, we can cancel that game
Well,
for 2 years.
And also, From
Plus
has one person in charge, whereas it seems like Nintendo is very committee based,
Oh yeah, for sure.
which is slower.
Yeah. But weirder too. I mean, that game should come out. There should be an angry boardroom saying, no, we need Zelda for Wii U, and yet it doesn't happen.
Yeah, they're going all in on NX. That's why.
Oh boy, that is the last mention of NX for the rest of this podcast. Let's move on. Actually, let's keep going. Oh my gosh, more bad news. Here we go.
Oh, I didn't get to look into this one.
Okay, so I'll explain it to you, Blood, as well as the audience. So, microtransactions in Metal Gear Solid 5. This is not an announcement. These are people putting together the clues. Here's what's happened. On the Italian PlayStation Store, beneath where you could pre-order the game, the phrase acquisti in-game opzionali appears, which means
Not even Italians know
Nailed
what you
it.
just said. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just pissed off every Italian.
acquisti in-game opzionali.
Oh no.
making yourself sound like Mario doesn't help. But okay.
That's not my Mario voice. It's very different. Anyway, that means in-game acquisitions optional. That means, yeah, there are going to be in-game purchases, obviously. But this we tied together with Jose Otero from IGN. Noted when he was doing his preview of the game, when you're doing mother base upgrades, basically when you do research for new weapons or new cardboard boxes with naked ladies on them, one of the things said, reduced time features cannot be used in offline mode. They were obviously playing offline during their
Oh.
preview. Reduced time features are absolutely a part of this game. In-game purchases are part of this game. We're putting the clues together. It's to be presumed that you can spend money to make those meters move faster in your home base. Is that fair, or am I jumping to conclusions here?
I mean,
Sounds
No,
like
that makes
it.
sense. Yeah.
it makes sense. I don't like it, but it makes sense.
What's up, Ian?
Well, I was just wondering if it, because your base is part of the multiplayer online thing, right? So I wonder if it's dangerously close to pay to win if it does give you an advantage at your base. Like if you can make turrets really fast if you pay money, and then people can't get in your base, that's not fair. But if it's aesthetic, then whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, the way you research things is like it's also your weapons. It's all like so much of that stuff is so important. Honestly, I was going to play this game in offline mode anyway, because I don't want people invading my base.
Because you hate fun.
Because I hate fun
Right.
and I hate other people. But
That is true.
That's
That is
not a joke. Yeah.
that is not a joke.
others. But here's the thing: is just knowing that I could pay to make those meters move faster impacts me. Do you all have that feeling too? When there's a microtransaction in a game you're not buying, do you still feel it?
There's the difference is there's a difference between like active game time and inactive game time. Like that's potentially inactive game time, meaning you can just like set to research a cardboard box and like leave the game on and just go make dinner.
Yes.
Whereas like if I'm playing a game that's pay to win and you leveled up because you did something that I would have to play and then get experience or in-game currency to purchase, then that's like me actively playing this game and putting time in that I can never get back. You know, I wasn't doing anything else but playing this game and you just skipped over that. Whereas, so I think I understand why it would still suck to a lot of people, but those are two different things.
I see what you're
just
saying.
wanted to denote that.
There is in-game currency as well. We don't know if you can buy that or not, which could be crazy. That could be a whole other addition.
Yeah,
to this.
again, like that's a thing that's a whole different ballgame.
To me,
So on top of this thing, no, actually, let's go with Ian. What's
Yeah,
up?
shut up,
Well,
Ian.
I was just gonna say, to me, the thing that makes me nervous about this is because I think about games like, now the examples are escaping me, but like town building games or
Clash of
games
Clans.
like that, Clash of Clans, where they intentionally make the game bad, like boring and irritating to play, to make you want to pay money to them to speed meters up.
Yeah, think
To
of
me,
that
it's like
Tiny Tower.
Yeah, intentional bad game design to make money is evil.
Right.
And I
we
hope it's not that.
we know Kojima wouldn't do that.
Konami would.
Right. That's the freaky thing about. So here's the thing: is this I don't like doing. I don't like 5 people on a podcast making assumptions and getting angry about it. That always bothers me to listen to. Here's my question to the panel. Let's say you have a huge game, huge budget game with microtransactions. When's the right time to talk about it?
Before the 50-yard line of your ad campaign,
What does that mean?
before you get halfway through it, basically.
I mean, when did Metal Gear Solid 5's ad campaign start?
Do the math. I don't know when did we first hear about MGS5? I mean,
Well,
Phantom Pain
years.
was like 4 years
Is
ago.
that the reveal trailer?
Right,
or the-
yeah. It's so complicated, but you're saying it should have already been said by now then.
Yeah, ever since they actually said the words Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain.
Okay.
Like if it was 3 years since that a year and a half ago. We should.
So you're saying it's way too late. Like
Yeah.
they should.
Oh,
have
yeah,
talked
you
about
don't-
these a long
yeah,
time.
don't
People
do it
get
right at the
so
end.
mad.
And they were being
Yeah.
like shady about it, right? Like
Yeah.
they didn't actually say that someone found it. The
Yes.
leak of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So they could have just been like, they probably weren't even said anything.
E3 could go by and they could still not officially
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about this.
I actually wouldn't be surprised if that stuff was tacked on and implemented way later, like within this past year.
Because it totally could be. Because like on one end, I understand what you're saying, but like that with like Clash of Clans and stuff. But that's like the mantra of the entire company. They have like
Yeah.
boardroom meetings with everybody there, being like, we need to squeeze that apple as much as we can. Whereas with this, I could see them just being like, oh, this system you already built, we're just gonna make you pay for that one little thing.
Oh God.
I mean, hopefully, benefit of the doubt, it's just like clothes or something.
If it's clothes, I'm gonna be totally
Yeah.
cool. I'm gonna be
If it's
fine.
a
It'll be
Aesthetic,
both.
whatever.
It'll be both.
Oh, but like, so here's the thing. Actually, Blood, that's a really interesting point. Is that maybe they just don't figure it out until late. The one that made me really mad recently was, of course, Mortal Kombat X, when it was just like buy everything in the crypt. Maybe that was implemented late. Do you know? Because we didn't find out about that, I think, until like 1 or 2 days before the game released. And that's, I think, the worst time to make this kind of announcement is to hide it until the game's out. It's like, oh, there's microtransactions in this. But I mean, how do you even? Let's say we are responsible for advertising this game. Like, how do we even broach this? How do we talk about
Yeah,
microtransactions?
I mean, I think that's the thing. I think it's like intentionally kept secret, because it's there, it's there as like a convenience feature for certain people, and it's not really a feature. It's not a huge benefit to the game. It's just a way for them to skim some extra money off the top of it.
Kyle, I like trailers, right?
I know you love trailers.
I'm into video game advertising.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I'm into that is because Konami needs to have a conversation with its fan base about this. Like it doesn't mean it's like a serious thing. It doesn't mean like they need to bring it up in their press events for E3 or anything. But like at some point they need to be really upfront about here's why we're doing this. And
Yeah,
that's like the thing about
absolutely.
microtransactions is like there is a bizarre respect that you have for a company like Supercell that makes Clash of Clans because that's their thing. That's what they do. And like there is a part of me that does feel bad for Konami in a weird way, like a friend that's gone astray, or like is just is dabbling with stuff they shouldn't, and or making decisions that they shouldn't, and so there's part of me that's like I get that you this is like your one big franchise, you want to make as much money on it as you possibly can, that's cool, but when at the end you like sneakily like put that in, it's like then we're not friends, like
Yeah.
I go to this store to buy things, but I'm not on a first name basis with the person who owns it. It's like whatever, I'll take my game and move on.
So the way you envision it is maybe like a special trailer just to talk about microtransactions heart to heart.
With like a voiceover person
Sure.
with take the Nintendo angle and have somebody that's like so personable like Bill Trin and just be like the guy that breaks the news. It's
Yeah.
like the I don't know the official title, but the guy who basically says here's what the president's up to and speaks to the press.
Yeah.
It's like
It's-
it's the worst, aka the worst job in the United States of America.
What, the press secretary?
The press secretary.
Yeah.
It's just like
mean,
how do I
it-
say this?
It was Bill Trinan who told us that we need the amiibo to level up in Chibi Robo, and he did it with a smile. It did work. It works.
He's
Yeah.
so excited, he loves
Yeah.
it. It's like anytime he introduces something, I'm like, yeah, but there's okay, fine, Bill.
I mean, that's the way to do it. Like the way to handle things that are traditionally negatively received, or like evil, quote unquote. Like if Mortal Kombat had come out with a trailer that says like, hey, we've got the crypt, and lazy rich people who don't have any free time can pay for it, but you're not gonna do that because you're hardcore. Like if they made a joke about it, everyone would have been like, yeah, it's fine, totally funny, that's awesome.
What
That's a good way to handle it if you're Mortal Kombat. Yeah,
in,
for sure,
in a
actually,
weird
yeah.
way, and this isn't microtransactions, but I really like the Ratchet trailer when that came out, and it said the game based on the movie based on the game. Like they're so
Yeah.
upfront about like this is ridiculous, whatever. We all love Ratchet, let's enjoy this.
Yeah.
And like that, I think that's slowly. I hope. I have my fingers crossed that that's what social media is doing. Like everything's being dragged out in the street and having all their clothes ripped off, and there's nothing left, and you're just like, this is us. And hopefully we'll live in this age where it's like you just don't hide things anymore.
Yeah,
It's like
if you beat the haters
respectfully.
to it,
Like
they
I,
can't
like
hate
I still
you.
don't want like leaks like I would much rather watch a Dark Souls 3 trailer and have that be the whole. You just said that in the beginning of the show. It's like Kingdom Hearts 3. Oh my god! Imagine like 2 days earlier. It's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts is gonna be there. You're like, it's
Oh,
like
you're
so
right.
much better to know.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
so
Why
you really
this E3
see.
is gonna suck.
But most of these have been their structure. Like Bethesda, like Fallout didn't leak. I mean, it did, but like that announcement, like they did control that. And so it's just really interesting to see, like, you just have to be honest with everything. Like, hide secrets in the interest of being excited about things.
Yeah.
But not like, if we don't mention microtransactions, then they're stuck. The game's there, it's in their PS4, there's nothing they can do. You know, they're like, oh, now I gotta
Those are two
deal with this reality.
Yeah, very extremely different secrets. Here's a thing that was also not so much a secret. We have a 1 terabyte Xbox One announced and already purchasable this week. Here's the interesting thing about this. Not just it's $400. So they still have the 350. Not just is it 1 terabyte, it comes with a new improved Xbox One controller. Here are the features, the 3 improvements. Headset jack, which I think is a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Fine-tuned bumpers, which I guess we'll have to feel to believe, and wireless updates. Now your controller can receive updates wirelessly.
Oh, thank goodness. That was such a weird process.
No D-pad? They didn't improve the D-pad?
D-pad's perfect as it is,
Oh,
Brad.
I hate
Perfect,
that
dude.
D-pad.
What are you talking about?
When I played Shovel Knight on that, oh
Yeah,
my god.
that's bad. And those bumpers, I hate those bumpers. I
Yeah.
really, really, really dislike.
Well, now they're
those bumpers.
fine-tuned.
I played Evil Within on PS4 because of those bumpers.
Wow.
'Cause I had to sneak the whole time. It's like RB, and I was
Yeah,
like, nope,
I'm
not
curious.
on the controller.
The other two things are just like, those are kind of no-brainers. Like, I don't know why they decided they need a proprietary headset jack on there to begin with.
Sure.
And then, well, I know they wanted to,
wanted
people
money.
people
Yeah.
to pay for the adapter. But it's been a huge headache for people that wanted to buy stuff like Astros and that kind of thing. But then the fact that you update the controller
It's bizarre.
is bizarre anyways.
Yeah.
But then that you couldn't do it without a cord that doesn't even come with the system. You know.
Wait, is that true?
Yeah. You basically would have to use your PS4 controller cable.
Because it's mini
to plug,
USB?
Yeah, to plug your Xbox One controller in and update it.
What?
What are you doing? Why?
so much of the Xbox One is still a mystery to me. That's so interesting. But I actually love controller iterations. You know what I mean? When the PlayStation 1 had 2 analog sticks suddenly with Ape Escape, I was so stoked to buy that controller.
In a retro sense, it's fun to go back and like have early PS1 games, and you're just like, all right, I'm gonna can move my character around with these analog sticks.
Yeah.
Like, oh, whoops, like, never mind.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with
Tomb
like,
Raider 1, like, no
Oh, Mega Man
D-pad.
Legends, you had to use the trigger buttons to
Hey,
change
don't forget
the camera.
the
Yeah.
Duke on the Xbox, the original.
Oh,
I
good
love the Duke, baby. I
Perfect
got-
example.
The Duke.
no
No,
way.
I have no ill feelings towards the Duke.
So, Blood, to a young audience who does not know what the Duke is, please explain that.
The original controller that came with the Xbox was just massive, and like I think there's even photos of Japanese people pointing and laughing at it. And it's one of those things. I guess it depends on the size of your hands, but like for me and a lot of people, it's too hard to like do anything on it and to like even reach some of the buttons.
It's a mini pizza. Your hands are full.
And then
with
they
that
came
thing.
out with the S controller, which just meant small, and then
Yeah.
it eventually replaced the Duke entirely.
Yeah. That's a great story. If there's something wrong, fix it. Like, it's not a big deal. I'm happy for them to fix it. You don't have to feel burned for buying it early because that's what early adopters get.
What I'm curious with this one is it's so similar. Like there's such small tweaks. Like I wonder how hard it will be to find like that controller.
Oh, and tell the difference at GameStop?
Yeah.
Sure.
Look at the headphone jack.
So there's going to be the
Yeah.
terabyte and the 500 gigabyte. Are the newer 500 gigabytes going to come with that new controller also?
Great question, Brad. I think so. I think this is the new one
Okay.
forever. Oh, and I missed actually something very important about the new controller. Is that now there is a dongle you can buy for your PC, and you can use your Xbox One controller wirelessly with your PC.
That's nice.
Yeah. And so that's like a huge new thing too. Lots of PC people are excited to
Although-
they can use that controller.
Again, shouldn't they have found a way to do that? Maybe not. Maybe it's not a good way to do that.
Bluetooth has too much latency, doesn't it?
I think so. I think that's why people are so mad at PS4 controllers.
Are PS4 controllers Bluetooth?
Yes.
Who named it the Duke? Is that from Duke Nukem?
that I don't know.
Honestly, I think it may be dated back to Penny Arcade, but I'd be happy to be proven wrong. Let's do a correction on that one. Who named it the Duke? Yeah, they had that one comic where they're just like huge things on their laps, like huge bricks, and then they actually kept that joke running.
That's
which
what,
I like.
guys, what I love about the Xbox though is, Microsoft never made a gaming system before.
Yeah.
That was like back in the day. I think it was like one of the last things in tech that like the size of it was like impressive for some stupid reason. Like now everything we want is smaller, except for the 3DS. But they just come along with this giant
Yeah.
controller, this huge like heavy system. Like gonna move all my consoles aside. I think it's funny. That amused me.
It was some guys who just said like this is the game console we want, and that's the controller that popped out of it. I actually like the Duke too. I would pick that up if we're playing Halo, and I'd be like, yeah, I'll take that one. That one's cool.
Just like that awesome skateboard '90s kind of vibe to video games. Like the Xbox was like the dying
extreme.
breath. Like
Had
that
it-
was the last. Just the fact that they're X with
Neon
the
green,
coming
yeah.
out.
Mountain Dew everywhere.
That was good.
Good old console. Let's actually talk about what 1 terabyte means. So you can still get the $350 Xbox One. Both of these, by the way, bundled with Master Chief Collection for $350. Is 500 gigabytes worth $50? Would you buy this $400 one for the extra 500 gigs?
Yeah.
Would you?
Oh yeah.
Why?
It's worth it in the long run for sure.
Yeah, what does that mean in our modern? Because I think actually that space is more important than ever now that
Yeah.
games fully install, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean.
Is it SSD or platter?
I don't know what those two words mean. Ian.
Is it a solid state flash drive? Or
It's
is
not.
it
No. It's
spinning.
Yeah,
It's
hard
still
drive?
we still got some spinning going on in there.
Yeah. Yeah, they started including solid state drives. They cost a lot more.
$800.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, if it's a 1 terabyte solid state for $50, that's insane.
Right. It's not
So,
that.
Yeah, I figured it wasn't.
But I do. I'm deleting games off my PS4 currently.
Oh sure.
That's like a part of like modern era gaming, which is so weird to me.
Yeah. Which is why you have to be careful not to delete PT.
Yeah.
The thing that bugs
I
me
had to
on
reformat.
PS4
That's why I lost it. What's up?
The thing that bugs me on PS4 is the cloud save storage limit. I keep hitting that.
Yeah.
It's irritating.
It's not a lot. It's not
It's
very
not
big.
much.
And
Because
they-
like I did a bunch of different because like I learned back in the day, do a bunch of different saves, and like my Witcher saves were too big to go on my online storage.
Do you know what the cloud save limit on Xbox One is?
Huh.
Infinite.
Whoa.
You can
Yeah.
save as much as you want
the-
on
Oh,
an
They have
Xbox
one better feature than the PS4.
Ew.
The flip side of that though is that like
Ouch. No.
I don't know if they've actually updated it yet, but at least for when it started, like you couldn't even find your save files. Like they're in the cloud somewhere, but like you didn't have any way of managing your save files whatsoever.
Wait, on PlayStation?
No, on Xbox One.
Oh, okay. You just
So, like
had to.
they're just like they're in the cloud and they're tied to your profile, but you have no way of like doing anything with them.
I'm sorry, you said that's in the past, and now you can.
I don't know if they've actually updated that or not because they've
Okay.
had a lot of OS updates.
What do you want to do with your save files on the cloud?
Well, I would like to be able to know if things are up to date, or if I do want to like do a fresh start on the game, actually have a fresh start on the game. But if you can't even delete your save files, then you can't do that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, that's a great point.
Because like some games don't give you multiple save files.
Yeah. Like Dark Souls. Well, I guess Dark
You
Souls
can
you
have
can
different
create multiple
profiles.
characters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're right though. A lot of games you have one. That's you, and that's your save file. I get that.
Yeah,
Great
and
point.
that's something that's more of a professional production thing. It's like if there's a cutscene that only plays at the beginning of the game and you have no way of recapturing that cutscene if you already saw it.
It's
Can you
only a
log
problem
in
for
as
us.
a different
Yeah.
user.
Yeah.
You absolutely could.
Yeah.
And so that's a solution to your problem. Just get that cutscene as a new user. I guess like Ori. Ori was the one you could only play through once. Yeah.
Well, no, that's different. That's a different situation. That's
okay.
when you beat it, you can't go back to that save file.
Got it. And you can't. Yeah, you can't like make multiple save files throughout the game.
Right. Well, but it's like it's just
Losing
like different.
steam.
Yeah. Whatever.
Gotta move to the next story.
I'm sorry,
It's
losing
not just me,
Steam
Ian.
is a portion of this show now.
You're losing me.
This story was slowing down.
Okay, all right, let's chug along. What do we have next? It's this was just hot off the press. Oh my gosh, we're gonna
Is
get
this still happening?
so much false reporting on this. This has concluded. This was a live stream that just happened this morning. Oculus had a big live stream planned. Part of that, relevant to this podcast, is that Xbox is a huge partner. Partially, the official controller of the Oculus is the Xbox One controller, this new improved one that works with PCs. That's why that is relevant. When you buy the Oculus Rift, an Xbox One controller with the PC dongle will come packaged with it, ready to go. So it's the official controller. Also, you can stream any Xbox One game to your Oculus Rift. It won't be, of course, like it won't be full 3D. It's like streaming a movie basically to your Oculus Rift, where it's just like, oh, I have a huge, awesome screen in my face. I can't see any of my apartment.
Yeah. No, it's interesting because Matt Blair was just talking about how Sony should talk about that for the Morpheus when they talk about the features. Like, it's not, don't just do it for, quote unquote Morpheus VR games. Like, make sure people know that like they could do that with any game, and have it full screen in their face, which is something that I don't think that Sony has mentioned so far. The controller support, it's interesting because I think it sounds like a bigger deal than it is.
What do you mean?
The Xbox One controller has already been sort of turned into the standard for PC right now. Like Project Cars and Witcher both have Xbox One controller prompts. They're not using the 360.
Oh, every game
anymore.
on Steam, absolutely. Yeah.
So coming bundled with it, of course, that's significant. But actually being supported by it is kind of like, well, you're on Windows, so you're going to be using the Xbox One controller.
Blood, think of the palms that had to be greased, though. Think of what this deal means. This is,
Backroom
Facebook.
shady deals.
None of it was shady. But I think that's a huge get. I think that's a huge partnership.
For Xbox, huge.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
clearly an interesting decision. You have to wonder, like, how excited is Oculus? Is this a decision Oculus made because they were like, we got to side with somebody, so let's do it? Or is this something that they're like, oh yeah, no question, it would be.
But
it
they
would be
also
Xbox.
revealed their own controllers. Did you see those crazy things? Like with all
Oh,
the
yeah, those-
gestures
yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and like you can thumbs up and
No. Okay, so this
Thumbs
is
up.
during the stream?
This
You haven't seen
happened
the little circle guys?
a little bit later. Yeah.
UFOs?
No. Okay, explain these. It sounds like crazy words you're saying right now.
Okay, you take the other part of the Wii U, not the Wiimote, but
The
the
nunchuck, yeah.
nunchuck.
Okay.
And then take a bracelet and like stick it on that.
Where?
So while you're just like
there's a circle
a side
around
of
the
it comes
controller,
out
yeah.
of it. So when you basically your thumb is going through the circle. So like it's kind of like imagine if you had like a ring on your thumb and now just blow that up
Okay.
and attach it to the actual nunchuck.
All right.
And I don't know what that senses what your hand is doing or something.
Yeah, they
or
talked
like,
about being able to sense to you giving a thumbs up, which I'm not sure exactly how it does that.
I'm going to use that constantly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if this is good in the interest of GameTrailers.com, honestly, for the future, that I'm just an old man about VR. Like, it's we were booking appointments for E3, and I'm like, nope, I'm fine. Like, everybody was like, oh, we have VR stuff. I'm like, I'm good. Like, went to Judges Week, and they had a drift. I was like, oh, a drift in VR. I was like, don't need it. I'm fine. Like, I just don't need that to experience that game. I just don't like crap around me. Like, I really just want to go and sit down and enjoy. It's like the same way with Kinect. There's just so many barriers to entry with this technology. Even like HoloLens. Like, I got really excited. We were making the countdown to E3, and I'm like editing the Microsoft video, going through and seeing that, and it's like, oh, that's really cool. You just got this big thing on your face, and I just don't.
I
don't know,
mean,
not in.
I kind of
Like,
get that. I mean, even headphones. I mean, for the most part, headphones are a better way to experience, a game sound and like really get immersed in the game.
But then you're wearing a thing on your head.
And then you run a thing on your head, and
Yeah.
after an hour or two, you're just like, I'm just tired, and so you go back to the speakers just for the sake of freedom.
Yeah.
I have a thought.
Okay. This is the first time Ian's announced a thought all show long. Very polite of you, Ian. Go ahead.
Kind of back to why they picked the Xbox controller. Who else are they going to pick? Because Sony's not going to do it. They've got the Morpheus.
Mad
Steam's
Cats.
not going to do it because they got the thing. Yeah, it would
Yeah,
have to be
it's-
somebody third party.
Up until this point, it was assumed that they would make their own controller, and
Yeah,
actually that it would be
which would
more
be too
like
expensive.
what's it
which
called?
they did.
The
but
Steam
it-
controller?
The Vive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that crazy thing. Like the Vive has like its appeal
gloves or
is the
whatever.
controller. It's like that weird angular Deus Ex
whatever.
thing.
Power glove.
was it Insomniac Games that announced a game?
Yes.
Out of Darkness or something?
I forgot what it's
Oh,
called,
I
but
didn't hear that one.
it was like exclusive. to Oculus.
Exclusive Oculus game.
Whoa, from
Yes,
Insomniac.
from Insomniac.
That's very cool.
That is what they need.
What's
Is
it look
gonna,
like?
like
Big time.
come with
I
it
saw a
or
logo on yeah. All I just saw was like Edge of Tomorrow or
Well,
Not Edge of
Eclipse
Tomorrow,
of Tomorrow or
but-
something.
Yeah, I have to apologize that we're poorly informed, but this really just happened
It's
before,
hot.
before we recorded this.
It's hot.
It's hot. Hot man.
And we should also mention that, like, other than knowing that Andrew was going to this thing, we had no idea how significant it was going to be.
What
Like,
was it called ahead of time? This event?
It's like an Oculus press
Oculus
conference or
pre
something.
E3
Yeah.
press event. or
Pre
something,
E3 press event.
Hey, no,
yeah.
I'm
I
adding
didn't,
the pre.
I didn't know
Okay.
that it was going to be
But
streamed.
you can't do something this week and not have it be considered a pre-E3 thing.
Pre-3.
Also, you haven't mentioned the mighty P word. Phil Spencer was at this. Obviously going to be at the Xbox thing and is going to be at the PC gaming show.
What's the
making
mighty
a
P
weird
word?
face.
Phil, P for Phil.
Oh, that's like a P. You're right. I think of the f noise, and I don't
Yeah.
think of. I think of
Phil
Phil.
often starts with P though.
Phil Spencer.
No, I've seen quite a few Fs in my time.
Oh my god.
Okay,
No,
so
you haven't.
Yeah, what if you named your kid Phil, but it's
No, no, no.
F-I-L?
I would
Alright.
absolutely never do that.
FILL.
this time I refuse for being the weird one for calling Phil Spencer the mighty P word. We're just gonna let that fly.
No, that was weird.
Yeah, that's weird. We can't call him the mighty P word.
When you're talking about Microsoft, I guess.
Look at that face he's making.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're just a
Oh my
listener,
god, don't.
Okay,
We got
move
your
on.
VR right here.
yeah, that's basically yeah. Just imagine Phil Spencer doing that. Just like, come on, check this out.
Whoa.
Look at this. Come up, zoom in on this. Zoom in on this. That's what
I'm
that's
the
expression
mighty
he's
P
making.
word.
Sure, we can move on. I'm excited to move on for this one. The Last Guardian
Yes.
rumors are back. It's that time of year. Yeah, well, I don't know if we can call these leaks because it's definitely nothing we've seen. They're definitely more murmurings than anything. The Guardian said that it's very likely to happen. They list it in their top 15 most anticipated games.
Gotta love that the Guardian is the one that
Right.
It
got
was
the
in their
Guardian news.
last issue too.
What do you mean? Are they
No,
done?
it
They
wasn't.
went out of business.
Oh,
No, it wasn't.
I get the joke.
I'm
you're
just
making.
kidding.
No, it's very clever.
It just
I like
would
it.
have
You had
been good.
me. You had
if-
me because
I know.
it's
Oh,
so
sorry.
good. Because
Yeah.
that literally would be amazing.
It would be amazing.
And the Guardian closing down would be a humongous news story.
Yeah, it would be big.
What it? I don't know.
I don't know. Newspapers should be illegal.
They're all going down, baby.
Yeah.
So
Boo, newspaper. Yay, website.
Pulitzer and Hearst, they think they got us. Do they got us? No.
Nice
Camera's
house,
not over
Hearst.
there
Did you
anymore.
finish it? Didn't think so.
what are you all?
Yeah, what are you
doing?
talking about?
What is this?
I was doing the newsies.
And what you're doing, like the Hearst Mansion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't even finish his own house. What a punk.
Pulitzer and Hearst, they think they got us.
So I mean, clearly nothing is off limits for the show, but are Last Guardian rumors worth discussing? Or
Yes.
is it worth getting into? Is it worth getting excited about?
Well, you
Absolutely.
forced everyone to get it on the.
This show comes out before that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's fine. No, this
Get
is
it on the giggle.
It's not a
gonna have
secret.
to.
It's on
Spoilers.
it's on GT's top 10 most anticipated games as well. I'll say it.
We had to twist their arms
To get it to number 10. That's
God
as high as I could get this game.
Bless America.
Right?
We all wanted it.
The Guardian saved
Yeah.
me. This rumor that Mark Cerny is completing the game saved me. I got it on the list this year because
All
it's
the people
finally
who
happening
love
this year.
fun finally won for once.
You know what's not fun?
Huh.
Being lied to. That's not fun.
It's anticipation. It's not a lie, or there's no truth or lie to anticipation.
So
Advertising
we
is
anticipate
all
it.
about truth and lies. That's
Everything
the
is a
crux.
lie.
That is the good and evil, the black and white.
But if
of
we're
selling a video
anticipating-
game.
all we're saying is we anticipate this. It could be something we made up, and it would still be true. We're anticipating it.
why do you feel lied to, Brandon?
Because they said, hey, here's a game we're going to make. And then nothing.
What do you mean nothing?
They lied initially
They
with that
made
trailer.
it.
They were making
That-
They just
it.
didn't release it.
Right. And it just that whole
They never
period.
said it was coming out.
But it's the same thing with 15. It's the same. It's like there was some happened. There was some meeting. That something happened that stopped the Last Guardian that none of us were privy to, and we'll never know. And the company that's releasing the game is pretending it didn't, and is never going to talk about it, and is never going to be a thing. And the
They
game just
found
comes back and it's
another-
just kind of like, hey, what's up? It's like if your like stepdad like missed 6 birthdays and then shows up to the 7th one like, what's up, buddy? And you're like, where the hell have you been for 6 years? And it's like, what are you talking about?
They did talk
Happy
about
birthday. Hey,
when
here's
Ueda,
a transformer.
like-
And you're like, wait, no, you're not anticipating that transformer? It's like, yeah, of course I am, but that's not the discussion we're having right now. It's like, what
So
happened?
you're saying forgiveness is not possible. You would not forgive and try to build a positive relationship with your estranged stepfather. You would say, fuck you, I never
Forgiving
wanna
him is
see
a
you again.
totally different conversation. I would want to have the conversation about where he's been for 6 years. And if they
he'll tell you.
strut, they're not. They're going to strut out on that stage and be like, "Hey, here's the newest Last Guardian thing." And every interview that they have is going to be like, "What happened?" And
Brad's got
they're-
some facts.
They're never going to talk
They
about
talked about when Ueda, like they were talking about the drama going on Last Guardian like, a couple years ago, and he was like pretty much just there until the game's finished. Then he's gonna go do his own thing. Something went wrong with Ueda and Sony. He was probably taking too long to finish, and they're like, "Hey, you got to finish this game. You
Yeah.
got to get this out the door."
Like a Bandai Namco would say.
Exactly.
Right, like, hey, this
And
game
they,
needs to get
they
done.
couldn't come to terms probably.
Yeah.
And he's just finishing the game.
So then Mark Cerny, our new stepdad, apparently is coming in to really like make this happen.
Yeah, someone coming in to fix it, not
Yeah.
a good sign.
Well,
That's a great
it's
sign.
a
all
game,
of-
a game
it's all
being
of,
pushed to a later console's like
The
it's just-
Knack
there's-
guy going in to fix it, though.
It's all of Sony Japan. Like Sony Japan moves from project to project, and they're probably just having people.
I
who
think
are
they
available.
just found that there was another Guardian, and they were like, "Oh crap, it wasn't the last one."
So they killed the first Guardian.
yeah,
and
so
right,
they
now
had to
yeah.
start over and make
gonna be
this
a
one
giant
the last
duck.
Guardian. Yeah,
Cerny has done
be into
so
that.
many
Interesting.
great things. Mark Cerny has accomplished so much, and I'm so sad that he's
It's
the
gonna be like
Knack
Knack,
guy.
you know, like his feathers are
No.
gonna fly out in like a pile. He's gonna be the
seems like a
Griffin with
really
like no
nice
feathers,
guy.
and he's gonna have like fire
gosh.
feathers and
He
like
seems like a sweetheart.
spiky feathers.
To be honest, I bet he's not a nice guy. I bet he's
Really?
like, I bet he's like totally mean, but
Well,
like one of those mean guys who's like, you
like
know, is
Miyamoto.
good at his job. Yeah, like Miyamoto, like
He
just
seemed
total
like,
like mean.
such a nice,
And-
like effete man.
I,
Yeah.
I just have to put out there that like I didn't play Eco. I think Eco is like not my jam. I think there's
Sure.
like too much puzzle solving in Eco for me to really appreciate that.
Too
The
much
more of
puzzle
that,
solving.
yeah, just
It is a
I'm
puzzle
not saying to
game.
make a good game. I'm not saying Eco's not a good game.
It's
I'm
not a
just
puzzle
saying,
game.
I'm just saying
It's
there's
a
just a
puzzle
lot more
game, you
environmental
idiot.
puzzles. In that there's like a strict camera angle, and so it's just like I really have to like see what I'm doing. And Shadow of the Colossus was like, I know what I got to do. There's rarely a question. I just like Shadow of the Colossus was one of the best games I've ever played in my life, regardless of any
Yeah.
console. Like
Yeah.
that came out in HD, and I played the entire thing again like without question. So
Cool.
like I am so excited for this game. I just don't like being. I don't like
But
being strung around and then not
the
told why.
weirdest thing about what you just said is the in that game the camera is kind of squirrely and half of the game is like, where am I supposed to go? That was your complaint about Eco.
No way, your sword shows
Yeah,
you
it
where to
tells you
go
where
at all
to
points.
go.
I just think
but
there's a
then you're
difference
like,
being there's
I
a difference
love
being
that
in an
game.
open environment and examining an object, and then being in a closed environment
Yeah.
and you see a bunch of hallways and it's like I don't even know. You know, there was a lot of like going in one direction and then turning around, being like I just forgot where I was going. Like
See,
I
you
don't
like
know.
wide open spaces, like
Um,
the Dixie Chicks or whoever.
Sure, I'm the Garth Brooks of games
Oh
journalism.
boy.
But,
But
like that one.
no, I
day.
mean, from my perspective, I mean, the reason that like I'm resistant is just like give me something to be excited about before I start getting excited again. Yeah, because it's like the game is in production. They didn't stop working on it, as far as I can tell. They've been working on it the whole time. So until they actually have some kind of something to actually say about it again, it's like, okay, yeah, there's going to be rumors because it's being in production. And until they actually walk out on that stage and say, hey, this is what the game looks like now, or this is when we think it's going to come out, or anything like that, like I'm not going to start like, getting all excited about it because I don't know how long that's going to take.
If they just show a teaser and that's it, my brain's gonna.
Yeah,
explode.
that's not enough.
I'm gonna be like,
Really?
no, I'm done.
They pretty
we're
much
back
have
at-
to say like, this is the exact time this game
Yep.
will be out, or they're
Yeah, they have to
screwed.
announce a date when they show it.
Honestly, I'll dance for a teaser. I'll be so excited. I'll dance for
I mean,
a teaser.
it's gonna be rad. No
It's
matter
on
Yeah.
what.
PlayStation 4 now.
We'll be able to talk for hours about it, but it feel like we're back at square one. It's like, okay.
So you need something more. Is what you're saying? Like it's just like your dad came back. It's like no. You don't just get to give me like a little note. I need a good birthday present.
Like a Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
Just a conversation. Just sit down and just let me know what's
Just
going
talk
on.
to me.
Hopefully
Yeah,
they
I
will
get it.
when
I get
they
what you're saying.
finally show
He's
it.
got to be
again.
like, I was arrested in Guatemala, and now I'm here, and I'm gonna be with you.
Oh, so he had a good
until I
excuse.
die. Yeah,
Because
like,
that's-
I'm sorry.
Because that's like the majesty
was
of that game,
detained.
like down to the soldiers that are walking around when you fight him. I remember a lot of people were like, maybe they're just like sentient pieces of armor, and maybe there's lots of shadow demons in the first couple games. Maybe there's like shadow monsters inside of those suits of armor that like when you knock away. I mean, there's so many things to talk about because there's so many questions about the trailer. There's no more questions. You can't make another video that's just like, I wonder what look at the weird things we've done with Last Guardian. It doesn't look like you remember ? And you're just like, screw you. Like, I'll be so upset.
Brandon, this is the first time I get what you're saying. This trailer has to be so specific. There's
Yeah.
there's some techniques you can't use with this trailer. 100% that.
Also, this game is screwed because like after 10 years or whatever, it has to be so good. Or
And the thing is,
everyone will be
it will
pissed.
be.
And
It'll
as
be
frustrated
so
as
good.
I can get
knows?
sometimes talking about 15, I will give 15 that. When 15 came back, when we saw that first thing with Leviathan, and you're just like, whoa, wait a minute. There was no question of like, we're trying something new. We'll get back to you on it. It was like, oh, okay, this is the new game. Okay, got it. Like,
Yeah.
this looks incredible.
It was not a teaser. It was
Yeah.
just blown out.
I actually
Yeah.
want to make a correction. If I ever said anything ill, I remember we were talking about that trailer, that E3, and it was like up for like best trailer, and I was like, I don't know, I was being nitpicky. I watched that again recently. Whole boy's at a trailer.
That's a good
That's a
trailer.
really
That
good
is a
trailer.
The one where he's like running
unbelievable
through that
trailer.
dining room and everything's getting shot up and
Yeah.
stuff.
and like lifted up in
but like
midair.
that's
he's-
lies. The
and
game
he's-
does not play like that.
We've seen a
It
demo of
does.
the
It
game.
absolutely does
you
play
can
like
take
that.
cover and everything like that.
Yeah,
Is
man.
it that amazing.
Have
and
you not
smooth
fought
and
the behemoth?
frenetic, and
Yeah,
I haven't
dude.
played the demo, so I'm
It's the
probably
same thing with
just
Last
way wrong
Guardian.
here.
That question is very tantalizing to me. Like,
Sure,
like
yeah.
wondering that, finding that line, because there is a line somewhere, but it's just like between like how much of this world I can actually explore. You see him like jump from one UFO to another, flying over a giant Venetian city, and it's like, wait a minute.
Are you sure?
Does
Hold
that
on.
mean
You're,
there's-
Yes.
Does that mean there's like a bunch of ships
Wait,
and I can
which
just go wherever I
trailer is
want?
that?
Or does
Yeah,
that
yeah,
mean
that
it's
is
the
that's
same
that
one. It's one
because
of
he's
the
got that
Leviathan.
sword toss
Oh, the
ability.
15.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
literally on a giant battleship, and there's another one, and he's just like, I'm on that now, and like
Right.
flies over to it.
I remember
He's
thinking
like
just
hanging
like
and looking at the city, and like Leviathan makes like a tidal wave, and buildings are all flying. It's like, what is happening right now?
yeah, I was thinking that just like you don't have to do the sword thing. If you just cut that out of the game, it
Right.
could be out.
But we're
by
talking
now.
about 15 now, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
everyone get back on track.
That is a 15.
Yeah,
thing.
he's talking about
Right,
15.
I know, but we should be talking about Last Guardian.
supposed to be talking about the last
Is this another? You're losing me. We were just right. What do you mean? That's so relevant.
I'm just getting heated up
Oh
about
my
it.
gosh, oh jeez, I get a little too much coaching on this week's podcast. I think. Sure, we can move on. Brandon wants to move on.
We're trying to keep you on track. It's been 55 minutes. You
Okay.
got 5 minutes.
Okay, well then let's move on to. Well, you're the one who started this conversation. Brandon Jones. This comes from Captain Charisma, who actually, yeah, great name. Actually asked a long question, but I'm only taking the end of it. And can you give some details on your E3 coverage?
Okay, that's a good question.
We have a 3-minute video doing that, but yeah.
Yeah, which now has the correct date at the end.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
said Saturday, but it's really Sunday.
Don't make it 3 minutes. But what is GT
Please
doing for E3?
Make sure you say AMs and PMs, because yesterday was
Yep.
kind of confusing.
I don't-
Okay. Okay. Good.
I mean, we didn't have to get that specific. Fine, we can. Okay.
So our coverage begins Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Mr. Kyle Bossman and Elise Williams will be standing right here live. Mr. Ian Hank will be sitting over there. I won't be here because I'll be playing a very cool game I'm looking forward to.
Why do you
But
have to- you
if
don't
there's
have
no
to-
if there's no embargo, if they don't say,
Oh, you can't talk about that now.
but yeah, hopefully we'll be able to talk about that soon. But
Actually, I think years is more than one game, but yeah.
Let's not. Why are we doing this? Let's
No
not
teasers.
talk about
'Cause
embargo
E3,
stuff.
baby.
Okay. All right.
Pumped. But yeah, so I'll be showing up late, but that'll be probably from like 6 to 9:30. We'll be talking before, during, and after the Bethesda press conference. And then the hope is that basically, like, if you go to bed and wake up and turn Twitch on, we're on. Like,
That's
so
what I
we're
wanted
gonna be
to
on.
say. Yeah.
So we're gonna be on at 9 a.m. the next day. That's Monday.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be going until 10:30, however long until we can wrap up conversations about all the press conferences.
And what are we doing
And then
all day long? What are we
just-
even like doing?
We are talking about press conferences before they happen. During the press conferences, we are talking about them while we are watching. So if you want to preserve, don't watch. Maybe keep streaming us, but turn the volume off on our stream because we're going to be talking during the entire press conference.
Do we have huge?
So
guests?
that moment of Brad jumping up. Monday, our hugest guest is we have Electronic Arts coming by to show off a lot of the stuff that I saw at Judges Week that they still have yet to announce. They will be coming by and they will be demoing one of their games on our stage. You will be talking with them, Mr. Kyle Bossman.
So you're saying even Game Trailers has unannounced games on our schedule?
Yes, we have games coming by the stage that have not been announced. That should be very fun. And then continuing that through the week, but obviously Tuesday, the big difference is Monday we're not going to be at the show. So Tuesday, Ben Moore and Mike Huber are going to be running around the show floor getting appointments and learning about cool games that have been announced and not announced. And they're going to come back Tuesday night. But Tuesday morning, I think we go live at 8 because the Nintendo Direct's at 9.
Yeah. I'm so down for that.
So
Yeah,
we
yeah,
will be
I'll
up
be there.
very early, stopping at 10 at Monday night, Sunday night, getting up early Monday morning, going until Monday night, and then super early Tuesday morning, and then same thing until 10 that night.
Sleeping at
and
the
then
office.
Wednesday, I think, is a 10 o'clock start, and then Thursday is a 9 o'clock start again as well.
Cool.
Just all day. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we'll have a bunch more demos. Atlas is coming by. Disney Infinity is coming by. Guild Wars 2 is going to do a demo. We're going to play Divinity Original Sin on consoles for the first time, which Ben Moore is very excited about. We're going to do live trailer scores. We're going to do live GT time next Thursday, whenever you get back from the stage, and then just impressions on everything. There's probably a couple guests too that I'm not mentioning, but so the only late date you need to know is 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Sunday, twitch.tv/game trailers, and then every other day, hopefully right when you wake up, we'll be ready to go.
Cool. So we don't even know when GT time will be up next week. We don't know when to promote that.
6
Is it in the
p.m.
evening?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. is a good time to tune in.
Pacific
It's
time.
basically whenever Elise and I get back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then she will be in it.
Yeah. Why
Yeah.
did you make this big Hufflepuff about it then?
Because we're gone until
It's the time to Hufflepuffle, man. It's 4 days away.
Yeah, it's probably
I
going to be 7:30 or 8 before.
I want everyone to
Yeah.
Hufflepuffle as fast as they
Because
possibly
we gotta
can.
get back here.
There's a little too much
But,
Hufflepuff
so
going on
I'm
in
going to
here.
shoot for 6 o'clock. Like everything, take it with a grain of salt because it's E3 and everybody's, it's traffic everywhere, so it takes
Yeah.
a long time for people to get places. But we're going to do a GT time live, and then after that, we're going to do a trailer score live, just trailer after trailer after trailer. And that's E3.
Cool.
And maybe some other surprises because we even have people right now that I'm potentially booking in. So last minute additions.
Captain Charisma, I would like to thank you very much for starting that conversation.
Yes.
Thanks. Appreciate it. But now let's get serious. It's time to move on for bets. It is time for bets. Here's our bet. As Brendan just mentioned, we're doing GT Time live next week. At this point of the show next week, we're going to have a live audience. So here's what we're doing. I'm going to give everyone a password. The first time that password appears in the comments on the live stream, we're going to look at that person's username. How many characters will be in that username of the first person who states the password back to us?
I have conditions. Can I bring up a couple things?
Please, I love conditions.
One, I would prefer if the password was kind of long.
Okay, so it's not like
Not like 20 characters, but like maybe a dozen.
So
Not
let-
something you can't just be like Abzu, like.
sure. So what if it's like anchovies?
Yeah, is correct spelling a key?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so it's got to be spelled correct. You can't,
Yes.
you can't just like, I tried my best, but I was first. But it's like, no, you put one too many eyes in there.
I'll tell you what. We'll all agree upon the password before we go on live.
Okay.
Well, I'll like show it to you, and you'll be like, one little longer. We can do that.
Cool.
We can cordially agree on the password length.
This is gonna be like Pee-wee's Playhouse, where like every time we say that word, then for the rest of the show, we like,
Yes.
Yeah, but it appears at the end of the show, so I mean, there's not much after that. But sure.
I think I just held my score up.
Okay.
Spoilers.
Any more conditions, or are you good with this?
I think that's the spelling and the word length. Those are my two
Wait, so
concerns.
when do they find out what the password is? And
At
do
this
they
right when
point,
you
have
gotta
to
type it.
say
when it's time for bets, last week's bet, we bet how long it would take or how many characters would be in the person who's first talks back to us, and the password is this, and then we go.
Okay, so it's just they see it, they type it back at you.
They hear
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's weird.
Oh, I'm so excited. Live bet.
The magic word is
first live bet.
stretch pants.
Put numbers
Stretch
in
pants
it.
is a good
Stretch
one.
pants.
No numbers.
It should be like Stretch Pants 1986.
So they actually have to work to type it in.
Yeah.
You mean? Yeah, we'll figure that part out. That part is so unessential
I
to
like
this.
Stretch Pants.
Put some underscores in there, capital, lowercase.
I am actually first to reveal this week. Okay. And my bet is
That's,
12 characters.
that's an interesting bet, sir.
I've got to go with she said she 18. 12 characters.
Nice.
She said she 18 is one. It was someone on Twitch when we were doing our full playthrough Friday of Mario Brothers 3. This is the one person who every time we went into a Toad house would be like the first person to like help us out with that.
That is such a weird username.
Oh, I love it.
It's
She
so
said
good
she
because it's like funny and kind of cool, but also like, is that okay?
It's not okay.
Is this
That's
o-
that's
it's
what's
not
funny
okay,
about it is it's not
right?
okay.
It's not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. She said she 18. I know you're gonna be right there saying the password first. I'm counting on you. 12 characters.
Oh,
Brad,
wow.
yeah.
Okay. I said 8.
Nice.
Mine.
Do you have a reasoning?
No. It
Okay.
just felt right.
Okay. Bloodworth?
10.
Why?
I think I was trying to like come up with what was it 1B like another username. So
IBO show?
yeah.
Okay. Brandon Jones.
7.
Why 7?
7 is a magical number.
Because of Delcast?
If you went out and polled 100 people right now and said pick a number between 1 and 10, they'd pick 7.
Okay.
Like most of the time.
Sure.
Just for some reason, people gravitate toward that number.
But I don't think
For
they,
lots of reasons,
I don't
actually,
think they
but-
go for that number 7 and then say I want a character that's 7 or I need a username that's 7 characters long.
No, I'm saying that there is no possible way to discern who the hell is going to be that first
Sure.
person going. So
Uh-huh.
I'm just going to pick a number that it fits cosmically in our universe.
I like that. Brandon, you know what? Feeling the universe out isn't a bad way to bet. I'm going to lock those bets in. Ooh.
Yep. And I'm going to lose. Still. But I feel good with 7. I don't feel good with winning, but there we go.
Yeah, you know what? I like that. I love betting with your heart. You know, you're not betting with numbers, not betting the Bloodworth way. You know, not betting to win. You bet with what you believe in.
I'll say that every time when I lose. I bet with my heart.
So let's talk about how Bloodworth bets. Last week's bet, The Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited. That's just launched on Tuesday, actually, on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. At this point last week, Elder Scrolls Online had 87,214 followers on Google+, What is that number at this point this week? Brandon Jones bet 105,000. I bet 92,345. Who was in the super seat? Matt Blair bet 91,073. Bloodworth bet 87,100. He thought it would go down. The actual number of Google Plus followers for the Elder Scrolls Online today is 87,646. Another winning bet for Daniel Bloodworth.
Cleaning up.
Google Plus. That's the last time I'll do a Google Plus bet for sure.
Don't
What
do
a
that.
what a sham. Like, how do they even get followers? Where does that number come from?
No idea.
Is it like tied in with YouTube subscriptions?
Maybe.
I feel like there's some sneaky
gotta be.
way that they get Google Plus
There's
followers.
huge amounts of Google Plus followers, even for us, and we're still like, I don't understand Google Plus at all.
Where do you come
We're
from?
not actively doing anything with that other
Who
than
are
cross-posting
you?
from YouTube.
Yeah. Well, we'll take. I mean, they'll take it. We'll take it. But that is a point for Bloodworth. So Bloodworth has finally pulled ahead of the Super Seat. It's been a few weeks. So now Super Seat has 8 points. Bloodworth 9.
9.
Brandon Jones 2 points. Kyle Bossman 5.
Pathetic.
That's a good word for it.
5's good, man. I'm creeping up on
Brad.
that Super Seat. I got 3 more weeks, and I'm already up on that Super Seat. I'm good. Brandon, you got a long way to go. I got to be honest. Bloodworth, as winner of this week's bet, you get to close out the show and also promote any video you would like.
I just gotta point out that like Bloodworth walks by my office this morning. He's like, I wonder what show I'm gonna plug. It's like,
Whoa, that's so good.
just new. Yeah, just like,
Man.
Smug blood.
Yep.
Smug blood.
Blood.
Right. What's it gonna be?
I'm gonna do tonight's countdown, the Sony countdown episode for our countdown to E3, which I wrote the Sony one, but also you should go back and watch all of them because I edited all of them, and you need to get
Edited the scripts. I edited the videos.
yeah, that's true. And then the Button Saga, of course, you have to see the
What
whole
is the
thing.
Button Saga?
What is the Button Saga?
What is that? Yeah.
It's the documentation of what Buttons has been doing around here for the past week, while I was out looking for him.
And give us a teaser of this particular video about Sony. Like, what does Sony have going into E3 that's worth being excited about?
Well, I think Morpheus is probably going to be huge.
Okay.
They've said that it's going to come out in early 2016, which means they will not have another E3 to show Morpheus.
Great point. Yeah.
So I think that means they have to stop showing tech demos and start showing games.
Cool.
So that's going to be a big deal.
You got me hyped, man. That works. That was
yeah.
succinct.
But yeah, so thanks for watching the show this week. Our Twitter handles are Ian Hink, at Ian Hink.
Well, we got first calling even this time.
Yeah.
Very
We
nice.
were expecting that.
It's easier visually to go around the table.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Brad Ellis, what's yours?
At Bradley Ellis 87.
I'm at D Bloodworth 2.
I'm at Game Trailers VO.
At Kyle Bossman.
Yeah, so thanks for watching the show again. Leave us comments, corrections, and so on and so forth. Also, be sure to tune in all next week as we're going to be
6 o'clock p.m.
in
Sunday.
these seats for a very long time. But yeah, have a great week.
And your sign off.
Have a great week was a sign off.
Have a great week isn't personal to blood. You know what I mean? Like, have a bloody week. You know, it's got to be like
blood.
Smug blood.
Smug blood. Do you have one? Do you have a sign off?
I think I thought of one at the beginning and I forgot it again.
Oh my god.
Do
we
something
gotta write
about
those down.
blood rain. It'll
Blood
rain
Rain.
blood.
No, I
on
never
you.
No,
got
let's
into
not
that
talk
game.
about
Not the
Oh
game.
god.
Something uncharacteristically violent.
Otters are friendly folk.
Ooh, that was a
Otters.
good one.
I love.